no black people. Nobody gives a out there. Kill that.
How?
Either you got a good business or you don't. All that. Nobody want to hear that. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people. No, I support consistency, baby.
Yeah, man.
What color you is. I'm spending my money. That the paper? I'm gonna spend the millions where the I want to spend it at. Brothers, Porsche, Ferrari, Linda, I'm gonna do what I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black. But one thing about it, 70% of you is not going to make it. I'm not no motivational speaker that talk this. I'm the number one in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I made millions, and I made millionaires, baby.
Wallo. What's up, family? Back again. Like I said, reality spins. It's me, Kevin, your host. So, Wallo, he got a chance to do his thing again. Wallo gives motivational speeches. He goes out, not just around the country, but I'm sure Wallo's probably had the opportunity to at least go to other countries now, not just in this country. Maybe he can't go to Canada because, you know, they got those rules about felons. But yeah. Anyway, Wallo, why am I calling this man Wallo? My bad. Wallo, Gilly the Kid's cousin. Wallo did like 20 years in prison. He was a young man, like in his 20s when he went. And he came back, and when he came out, he hit the ground running. And he had someone in his corner via a family member in Gilly. But that little piece you just heard was a motivational speech he was giving where he was speaking about black businesses. And the fact that he's not going to buy black just because you run up on him and scream, buy black. Your business has to be in order for him to want to support you. And I was watching it on Joe Budden where Mark Lamont Hill got his say on it. And he says that Wallo is a friend and Wallo goes out of his way to buy books from his bookstore. You know, when he could have easily got them cheaper on Amazon. Okay, I can dig all that. But the reason why I decided to add my take is because I didn't hear anybody speak. Well, I heard people say it in their own way, so let me give you mine. To begin with, I heard two analogies about black businesses from people who are respected in the black community. One of the people is Dr. Claude Anderson. And he, I believe it was on Hidden Colors I saw this, and I saw this on YouTube, him giving the same talk. Where he said he was speaking about other cultures, not just the black culture. He was mostly speaking about other cultures. And one of the examples he gave was, he said in the Chinese community, what the Chinese does, I'm just using them as an example, because you could put this to just about any community outside of the black community in America. He said in these communities, what the person does is he'll go to, once he makes the money, he won't go out and spend it in another community first. He makes sure that money bounces around in his community, and you know, he spends with other stores and other businesses in his community before he lets the money go. But he says the main part of that is this right here. He says a Chinese person will go and buy TVs from another Chinese person, but he's not buying them solely because it's a Chinese person. He says that other Chinese person who has TVs to sell, he has to compete with everybody else. He has to compete with the whites. He has to compete with the Jewish community. He has to compete with every other community who's actually selling the same product. He has to have it for a good price. The price can't be all jacked up, and he can't be asking this other Chinese person to spend with him simply because he's Chinese, because that Chinese person is going to do this right here. He says that, well, yes, as long as you're competing in the market with other communities, the deciding factor in whether or not I spend with you is that you are also Chinese. But it doesn't begin with that in his community. So, but I totally agree with that analogy. Okay. I also agree with this right here because I witnessed this firsthand. So in the town I live in, I got a job at this restaurant called The Picnic years back. And I got hired to this place to be kind of like the front of the house expediter. So, but the significance is I got this job before the restaurant ever opened. Okay. And this restaurant, one of the guys, one of the owners was Jewish. I'm not sure what Wyatt's complete background was, but for mostly just visually, he just seemed like a white guy. And there was another one, Ryan. He just seemed like a white guy too. These were the three owners. They were all just, you know, regular guys, but they had experience in the restaurant industry. So they wanted to open up a barbecue restaurant called The Picnic. So the reason I'm telling you this, family, is because these people open to instant success. Okay, instant success. I mean, the first night was pretty much free for certain people, but then like every night after that, this restaurant kept the whole. I think I stayed there like the first 3-4 months before I decided to leave, but the restaurant stayed. They always had business. It stayed packed pretty much. Okay, it was instant success, and although most of the patrons were white, I wasn't concerned with that. You know, I expect that. Okay, this is America. I mean, this is where you're supposed to be able to come up. Okay, and this is where your community is supposed to support you. Okay, so with that said, yes, I want Black people to be able to compete in these markets too. But I also understand that, you know, in some cases that some people can't get the same pricing. You know what I mean? So yes, you may have to pay a little more, but hey, as long as the service is good, hey, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Because I do wanna support my community. You know what I mean? The same way any other community supports their businesses. You know what I mean? That's not, for me, that's not a racial thing. That's just the way of the world. You know what I mean? It's been that way. It was that way before I got here, so it's gonna be that way after I'm gone. You know what I mean? So for the most part, you know, there's a lot of people bashing Wallo about it. You know what I mean? And then I heard Lamont Hill say this right here. He said something about a lot of things that get said hurt because it's truth in it for the most part. He didn't say that, but you know, he said something to that effect, and I can understand that. But and I also I don't know, maybe it's the old fashioned in me. I kind of see certain things people say as grandstanding, or like the old people used to say, peacocking. You know what I mean? When you're, I understand you're giving a motivational speech, but you know, other people outside of that arena will be listening to that. So you have to take in consideration that, you know, you could be shining on some people with some of the things you say when you start talking about you're the #1 guy and you ain't gonna do that. You know, some of it can appear to be peacocking. You know what I mean? And if you stayed to this point, family, I want to say thank you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, share, and I'll catch you on the next one. Salute. You're my twisted truth.